There's a lot to unpack there. So I'm going to start at the beginning because is the movement to see a separate Alberta as a separate nation, is it just simply economic? That is the one thing I think that COVID and other issues that have really brought to the limelight. I think Albertans in particular have a set of values that are very different from those in the East. So, you have brought up in the past issues of unity, and I don't see Canada as a unified country, and I've never seen it as a unified country. We have nations within nations. You brought up Quebec, for example. Our Indigenous populations all have special interests, all have special privileges. It's not one rule of law that applies to everybody. So, if we were to look at the structural, foundational kind of perspective of what Confederation, was supposed to be, I don't think Canada's broken. I think Canada's working exactly as you pointed out, as it was intended. And Alberta was truly that resource colony. Democracy is 51% rules the other 49. And in this particular case, that's to Alberta's disadvantage because Ontario and Quebec will always be that 51%. So would not a republic, for example, of Alberta serve much better than this democratic Westminster system that we have under Confederation?
Well, there's a number of questions there, so maybe start with your first one. And one of the points that should be made, and this is consistently ignored by the Toronto-centric media, is that this Western discontent is far greater than Alberta. There's polls that have been taken on this. This Western alienation is as strong, or even stronger, some people would suggest, in Saskatchewan. You just don't hear about it as much, but it's just as real. It's just as real in much of rural Manitoba. And it's just as real in much of British Columbia, all of central, southern, eastern, and northern British Columbia. Discontent over the same issues, all except Vancouver and Victoria on the west coast. So, for one thing, this is far broader than Alberta. Central Canada's got to understand that this, if you include the territories, the northern territories, this northwestern region constitutes half of the physical area of the country and consists of a third of its population. This is not some little thing that you can confine to Alberta. It's much broader than that.